All right, let's begin. Welcome everyone online and whatever to the Committee of Adjustment. Any declarations of conflict of interest before we start from any of the members? Seeing none. Approval of the minutes of the January 11th meeting, which Jennifer chaired, and we're very appreciative of Jennifer chairing. She did a fine job, I understand. All in favor of the minutes of the January 11th meeting? Opposed? Carried. Alicia, I take for granted we have no correspondence or business arising from the minutes.
That's correct.
Thank you. So the procedure going forward for all those online and having applications tonight will be the county planner gives her report on each application. I will then give the applicant a chance to speak if they wish. I will then ask for anyone online, whatever, who is opposed or in favor of the application. When that finishes, the application goes back to the committee for resolution and a vote. Having said that, let's start with the first application, 260 Hunter Street. Matthew Reeser. Mark, are you the agent? Are you online?
I am here indeed. Good evening.
Thank you, Mark. Andrea, can you start?
Yes, thank you. The first application tonight is a minor variance application for lands located at 260 Hunter Street. I'll just share my screen here if I can. Sorry, Chris, my ability to share my screen has been disabled by the host, so I'll just go on without it for now. So the application proposes to, is requesting relief from the minimum lot area from 540 square meters to 522 square meters, and also to reduce the minimum lot frontage from 18 meters to 15.24 meters. And that is to facilitate the conversion of a single detached dwelling to having 2 residential units inside it. The applicant is proposing the second unit in the basement of the existing dwelling, and no exterior renovations are being proposed for the property. The application was circulated to a number of agencies. The building department provided comments and indicated that they are satisfied with the application. They feel that the relief is minor. The type of use is suitable for the R2 zone, and we've supported similar variances in the past for this. The applicant is required to verify the parking layout, as there will be the requirement for 2 separate parking spaces that'd be side by side as opposed to being in tandem. However, staff indicated that they're satisfied that there's adequate space to accommodate each of those parking spaces. Further to that, the building department also indicated that the property is still able to provide an abundance of green space on the site, in that they'll be providing approximately 60% of the lot area in open space. And so the building department felt that a second unit could easily be accommodated on that site. With respect to our review, we feel that the request to reduce the minimum lot area and the lot frontage can be considered minor and desirable for the site. No exterior renovations are being proposed, so it definitely will not impact the character of the area. Staff are satisfied also that sufficient space can be provided for off-street parking, landscaping, drainage, and private amenity space. And we also feel that this type of development is in keeping with the area and the intent of the low density policies for the area. As previously indicated, the applicant will need to discuss further and verify the parking spaces on the site. And so we've included a condition of approval indicating that those 2 spaces would have to be to the satisfaction of the building department. So in light of our review, we'd recommend that this application be given favorable consideration.
Thank you, Andrea. Mark, you have a positive planning report, so you need not speak.
going to be a really great project, and that's all I'll say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark, for that short and sweet comment. Is there anyone online wishing to speak against the application? Is there anyone online wishing to speak for the application? Hearing none, it goes to the committee for a resolution. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Peter, seconded by Howard, and you're including the addendum that the application provides 2 legal parking spaces as per the zoning bylaw to the satisfaction of the building department, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. We'll see you in a minute.
The second application is 821 Stonegate Drive, and again, Mark is the agent. Can we have Andrea give the report, please?
Thank you. So I think we actually fixed the little glitch, so I should be able to share my screen now. Okay, so this application is very similar to the previous one in that the applicant is requesting relief from 540 square meters to 535 square meters, as well as requesting relief to reduce the minimum lot frontage from 18 meters to 15. And the applicant applied for this relief to facilitate a converted dwelling house containing 2 dwelling units, and it's for lands located at 821 Stonegate Drive. So with respect to this application, the subject dwelling is currently under construction, and so building and planning staff are of the opinion that this dwelling cannot be considered a converted dwelling, as a converted dwelling would have to be something that's already constructed. And seeing as it's currently under construction, we would consider the type of dwelling to be considered as a purpose-built duplex. And so the only difference with the 2 types of dwellings is that a converted dwelling house requires one parking space per unit, whereas a purpose-built duplex requires 2 spaces per unit. And then with respect to the minimum lot frontage and minimum lot area, it's the same requirements. And so the relief that the applicant has requested is satisfactory and is sufficient for their purposes. However, the applicant would need relief from the minimum parking spaces from 4 spaces to 2 spaces. Staff are satisfied that further circulation and public notification is not required, as the proposal hasn't changed and the intent hasn't changed. The dwelling is the same, and just simply it's a recognition of the reduction in the parking space requirement. I should further note that I'll move on to the comments that were provided then by the building department. So the building department did a site inspection, and they noted that in their opinion, 3 parking spaces can be provided. The current dwelling that is being constructed has a single detached or a single attached garage, and so it could accommodate 1 parking space in the garage as well as a parking space out front in the driveway. So that would be 2 tandem parking spaces for the 1 unit, and then 1 parking space can be provided in the driveway beside that. And sorry, I can move ahead to the site plan. And so the building department would like the applicant to verify that they can in fact provide those 3 parking spaces, but building staff were satisfied that there was adequate space to accommodate each of those spaces. And so the committee will notice that we've left a condition, or we've included a condition in the approval section or in the recommendation section that asks that the applicant verify those parking spaces and provide the 3 parking spaces on the site to facilitate the development. Further to that, the building department indicated that they're satisfied that adequate green space can be provided on the site, and therefore it's appropriate, or the use is appropriate for the site, as 73% of the lot area can be considered open space. So we reviewed the application and we're satisfied also that the reduction in the lot area and lot frontage, as well as the parking spaces, is satisfactory for the site. That the site will still be able to provide adequate setbacks, outdoor amenity space, parking, landscaping, and drainage. And we don't feel that the proposal will have a negative impact on the surrounding areas or the surrounding area. We also feel that the development will be in keeping with the area, as it resembles a single detached dwelling. And like I said, the parking, in our opinion, can be facilitated on the site. In light of that, we'd recommend that this application be given favorable consideration. We've included 2 conditions. A second condition, the first condition I already spoke about with respect to the parking, and the second condition is with respect to the actual application. We've asked that the applicant amend the application to reflect the fact that the type of dwelling is a purpose-built duplex as opposed to the converted dwelling house. Just for future reference when we go back through the files, and then we know what actually took place. So in light of that, we recommend that the committee approve this application. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. Mark, again, a positive plan report. Do you wish to speak?
This too will be a really great project.
I believe you. Now, is there anyone online that wishes to speak for this application? Is there anyone online wishing to speak against this application? Hearing none, it comes back for the committee for resolution. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please?
Could I make a comment?
I'm sorry, who is it? Bill?
Bill?
Go ahead, Bill. Let's
Nothing
get a resolution first, Bill.
Okay,
Hold on just
go
a
ahead.
minute. Moved by Peter, seconded by Howard. Question, Bill, go ahead.
Just to all the committee members and people like in attendance of the meeting, I've noticed in the last 2 years that increasingly it's becoming very popular for dwellings to be converted. And part of it has to do, of course, with the shortage of housing. But what I notice is in a lot of applications that increasingly we're making allowances to reduce the amount of parking. And as a result, a lot of the extra cars are going to end up on roadside parking. And I don't think that's the direction like we really want to go. In the summertime, it's a hazard for people that are cycling. Today, I went out for a 15-minute errand, and I noticed at least a dozen cars where snow plows had to go around because they were parked on the roadside. It's also increasingly a complaint from people in the neighborhood that say, like, we don't mind these conversions, but increasingly there's parking, extra parking, that people parking on the road. And it's to me, that is a concern. And for that reason, I will not support this motion.
All right, those in favor of the application? Those in favor, please. Peter, Howard, Jennifer, Bill is opposed, motion's carried. The application, I think, becomes effective in 20 days. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Third application is 204 Bisham Park Drive, Al's Truck and Trailer. I think, let me see, who's on here? Dwayne, are you on? Who's on for this application?
Yes, I'm on.
All right, Dwayne's on. Andrea, go ahead.
Thank you. So I'll share my screen again here. So this application is a minor variance to reduce the minimum rear yard depth from 7.5 meters to 1 meter, and it would facilitate the construction of a 74.4 square meter single story addition to the rear of the existing industrial building. And the proposal is for lands located at 204 Bisham Park Drive. Applicant is proposing an addition to the existing industrial building, which is currently occupied by a truck and tractor repair garage. I should indicate too, I don't know if we spoke about this, but the application was submitted by Al's Truck and Tractor Repair. So for the committee's information, back in 2019, the applicant did a lot addition through a consent application, and that was to add the lands located right here to the existing property. For anyone that hasn't been to the site, you'll note that there are, or I'll note that there are bays for the trucks and tractors to go into the garage here for repair. And so at the time, the lands were added to assist with parking of the trucks as well as maneuverability on the site. So at this point in time, the applicant is proposing the addition to the rear of the building. And the reason why they've proposed it there as opposed to anywhere else on the site is basically to allow for continued access of the building as well as the site, as well as to allow for proper truck turnaround and whatnot. And so we would note that if the addition were located anywhere else, it could potentially impact the usability of the site. Parking, it would impact parking, snow storage, and a number of other things. So we feel that this is probably the best location for an addition. And so then with respect to the rear yard, the building department indicated that there is a sanitary sewer line back or service back here, and there's a 10-meter, I believe it's a 10-meter easement over the sewer. And so although the applicant is proposing to reduce the rear yard depth from 7.5 meters to 1 meter, there would be another 10 meters on the north side of this property. So any just go up here to so any future development that would take place on this property, which would be at the end of Nellis Street, would be subject to a 10-meter setback. So there'd be the 10 meters plus the 1 meter. So in total, there'd be 11 meters between any sort of future building and the proposed addition. And so the building department stated that they were satisfied with that setback. And they further indicated that they still feel that the site, they can have adequate access to the rear of the building for maintenance purposes. And then the building department also noted that the building code would require a fire rated exterior wall adjacent to the rear lot line, just because the structure is being placed so close to that rear lot line. So in light of our review, we feel that the request to reduce the rear yard setback is satisfactory. It's desirable for the site. It's in fact the best spot for the addition to take place and to allow the business to operate and safely with trucks moving, coming and going, and then being able to maneuver properly on the site. As I indicated earlier, we feel that this will not impact access, parking, and snow storage. And then with respect to the comments that the building department provided, we also feel that the proposed addition will not interfere with any sort of future development that would take place on the property to the north, which is at the end of Nellis Street. So in light of our review, we recommend that this application also be approved.
Thank you, Andrea. Dwayne, you have a positive planning report, so you need not speak.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Is there anyone online wishing to speak for this application? Is there anyone online wishing to speak against this application? Hearing none, goes back to the committee for resolution. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please?
Move to approve.
Move to approve, Bill. Seconder, Jennifer?
Yep.
And we're going to include, Andrea, I see you've got here, and further the comments received by the public were reviewed. Do you want that included in the resolution or not? Andrea?
I believe that Alicia can speak to that, but that's I believe that's a requirement of the Planning Act.
It's a standard clause which automatically is included,
Yes.
correct?
Through you, Mr. Chair, yes. So this is a standard clause that's attached to all decisions. Modifications were made to the Planning Act, which requires this committee to take any comments received by the public into consideration. And so that's that sentence is added to all motions so that the committee complies with that requirement.
Thanks, Alicia. All in favor? Bill, you're obviously in favor. You're not on my screen.
Like they blocked me out for some reason. They
All
think
right.
I look better in the block.
So everyone's in favor.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Dwayne, I think there's a 20-day waiting period and this application will be finished, okay? Dwayne?
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Fourth application, 348 Psalm Street, Oxford Developments. Peter Del Grasso, are you here, Peter?
Yes, I am.
Very good. Andrea, go ahead.
Thank you. So this application for minor variance is requesting to reduce the minimum projection for a covered porch with no cold storage to project 1.03 meters into the exterior side yard to facilitate the construction of a single detached dwelling. So I'll just move down to, Peter has provided us with a sketch here. So you can see that the projection is right here onto Psalm Street. So as the committee may recall, we've seen several of these types of proposals in the past, and basically it's to facilitate the type of design of the dwelling on the site, in addition to the fact that it's a corner lot. So it can be challenging for the builders to find a suitable design that fits on these corner lots. And so generally we end up with these types of proposals, especially for the projections of these cold store or front porches. So the applicant is proposing a covered front porch on the east side of the proposed dwelling. Upon further review, staff also noted that additional relief is required, and that would be to reduce the minimum exterior side yard width for the main dwelling, and that's from 4.5 meters to 3.9 meters. In this case, staff were satisfied that no further circulation or notification to the public would be required. As the proposal hasn't changed, it was just basically staff recognizing that additional relief would be required. And we feel that the request is fairly minor. The building department provided comments in favor of the proposal. They have no concerns with it. Based on the site plan layout, staff were of the opinion that the porch is small in size relative to the overall length of the house, which is 3.5 meters relative to 16.7 meters, which is the whole length of the dwelling. And so staff felt that it was a fairly minor amount of relief. Further to that, building staff felt that the sight lines would not be affected along Psalm Street. And then with respect to the additional exterior side yard relief, staff were also satisfied that the request was minor and would not affect sight lines on the street or normal road maintenance or anything like that. So further to that, planning staff would agree with the building department, and we were satisfied that that the proposal for both the projection as well as the reduced exterior side yard are similar to requests that that we've supported in the past. We don't feel that it'll impact sight lines or impair the ability to undertake normal road maintenance up and down Psalm Street. So in light of that, we recommend that this application also be given favorable consideration.
Thank you, Andrea. Peter, you have a positive plan report, so you need not speak.
Well, thank you.
Anyone online wishing to speak for this application? Anyone online wishing to speak against this application? Hearing none, it goes to the committee for resolution. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please? Bill, and seconded by Howard. All in favor? Thank you. Carried. Peter, there's a 20-day waiting period. And Bill, I have you on the screen now. All right, let's go ahead with number 5, 328 Psalm. Peter, same application. I'm sorry, the same applicant. Go ahead, Andrea.
Thank you. So this application is for 328 Psalm Street. So just, oh, I forgot to share my screen. Just to give the committee an idea of where it is in relative to the other lot. It's basically the opposite end of Psalm Street. And so this was the other one, 348, and now we're looking at 328. And so in this case, the applicant's requesting to permit the projection for a covered porch with no cold storage to 0.91 meters into the required exterior side yard. And they're also requesting to permit the projection for an exterior landing or stairs and retaining wall to the basement to project 1.81 meters into the required rear yard. And this would facilitate the construction of a single detached dwelling. And so the applicant, and I'll just scroll down to the plan where you can see it. So the request for, again, as I indicated earlier, it's just simply to accommodate a specific design on the site, and it's again a corner lot. When staff were reviewing the application, it was noted that further relief was also required. In this case, it's with respect to the front yard depth. And so the applicant needs relief from 6 meters to 5.04 meters. And that's simply because based on the definition in the bylaw with respect to the front yard depth, it's taken it's taken right to the arc of the lot. And so this part of the dwelling is just projecting a little bit too far into the front yard. And so it's a reduction from 6 meters to 5.04 meters. And again, we didn't feel that further circulation or further notification to the public was required, as the proposal hasn't changed from what the applicant initially submitted. It's just simply us recognizing that additional relief would be required in order to facilitate this use. And further to that, we also feel that it's minor in nature. The application was circulated to the building staff and they were supportive of the proposal. Again, this is relief that we've supported in the past.
Can you guys call? I'm in the midst of a meeting. Can you guys call back in about 20 minutes?
Sorry, should I just wait till?
Yeah, you can come. Okay, bye. Bye.
Okay, so then in light of our review, we'd recommend that this application be given favorable consideration, as we feel that the relief that's being requested is minor. It's desirable for the site. We don't feel that it'll negatively impact the site's ability to provide parking, and it generally meets the other setbacks. It meets the other provisions with respect to area, frontage, lot depth, and so there's adequate space for drainage, amenity space, and landscaping. And in light of that, we recommend that this application also be given favorable consideration. Sorry, I should note too that the building department, so that according to the sketch, the setback is 5.04 meters in the front yard. And so we rounded it down to 5 meters. And then the applicant, and then the applicant would have to verify with the building department that that was in fact the setback.
Andrea, that's 3.1, correct? On your list of approvals, the addendum. 3.
Yes, that's correct.
All right. Peter, again, you have sorry.
Sorry,
Peter,
I was just gonna, if I could just for a second, I know this is not something that we typically do. I see that the planner that wrote the report, the setback is actually 5.04, but she's rounded down to the 5 meters. And I wonder if we should in fact increase that. Peter, maybe you can comment, or Craig from the building department. Perhaps it should be rounded up, because if it's 5.04, 5 meters won't meet.
The actual dimension is 5.04. So I'm okay. Like either way, to me, it like if it's 5, when we do construct it, it'll be 5.04, right? So that's the actual dimension.
Okay.
Andrew,
so
you
right,
happy with, Andrew, you're
Well,
happy with that?
right now, the way it's written in the relief is 5 meters flat or even. So that would cause an issue at
All right,
at building permit
let's change
stage.
it for going forward to 5.04 meters.
Yep.
All
Okay.
right, is that good with you, Peter?
Yeah, that's good with me. Yeah.
All right.
Thank
Anyone
you.
online wishing to speak against this application? Craig?
I think it should be 5 meters. You want the minimum setback to be 5, not 5.04.
Andrea, comes back to you.
Okay, as long as Craig says that, I'm okay with that.
We'll try to get
Okay.
everybody on the
I'm
same
good.
page
I'm
here.
good. Yeah.
Peter,
I'm good.
you're good?
Yeah.
All right, so we're talking 5 meters, not 5.04.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone online wishing to speak for the application? Hearing none, it comes back to the committee. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Jennifer, seconded by Peter. All in favor? Carried. Peter, again, 20-day waiting period before.
Thank you so much. Have a great
Thank you.
evening.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Last application, south side of Oxford Road 17, north of Upper Thames Drive, Aaron Hill. Aaron, are you online?
I am.
Very good. Andrea, go ahead.
Okay, the final application for minor variance is for lands located on the south side of Oxford Road 17. These lands were recently part of a draft plan of subdivision that was approved in June 2020. And so the proposal is for a lot that has not yet been registered, but it will be registered in the near future. And so the applicant is requesting to reduce the exterior side yard width from 4.5 meters to 4.27 meters. And again, this is a situation where the applicant is simply trying to facilitate a single detached dwelling, a specific design of a single detached dwelling on a corner lot. And so as such, they're requesting relief from the exterior side yard. And that would be to facilitate a single detached dwelling. The application was circulated. The building department indicated that they're satisfied with the requested relief and that they feel that it's minor. Planning staff are also satisfied with the requested relief. We feel that it's supporting a use that is desirable for the area. There's single detached dwellings being proposed in the area. We feel that the proposal will not impair site or impact sight lines along the street, and we feel that it also will not interfere with normal road maintenance of the street. So in light of that, we'd recommend that this application also be given favorable consideration, and we've included a condition that basically that the lot has to be registered and that it would generally be in compliance with the sketch or the plates that have been provided to the committee when they go for the building permit. So in light of that, we'd recommend that this application also be approved.
Thank you, Andrea. Aaron, you have a positive planning report, so you need not speak.
No, that's fine. It's full support.
Thank you. Anyone online wishing to speak against this application? Anyone online wishing to speak for this application? Hearing none, it comes back to the committee for resolution. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Howard, seconded by Jennifer. All in favor? Carried. Aaron, 20-day waiting period before it becomes final.
Thank you very much.
Committee members, that wraps us up. Can I have a motion for adjournment, please?
Motion to
By
adjourn.
Bill, seconded by Peter. All in favor? Carried. We'll see you on the 1st of March.